Does anyone really know what hormones do? There is so much talk about women's hormonal health, but most women are left even more confused about what it means for them and what to do about it. The confusion ends now.
An award-winning German nutrition scientist created a powerful herbal formula called Hormone Harmony, which contains 12 powerful adaptogens into one single capsule. Each of these ingredients is carefully selected based on scientific evidence and has been proven effective in clinical studies for women of various ages and hormonal profiles.
Happy Mammoth, the company that produces Hormone Harmony, is famous for its zero compromise policy. No GMOs, artificial fillers or flavors, or any other junk. Only science-backed ingredients in amounts that are clinically proven.
What makes this formula unlike anything else on the market is that it tackles multiple hormone imbalances at the same time, creating a cascade of benefits all throughout the body and mind.
Hormone Harmony has over 50,000 raving reviews from women all over the world, with 98% of them saying they'd gladly recommend it to their friends and family.
For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code BLAME at checkout.
You can try Hormone Harmony risk-free and get 15% off your first order with code BLAME at checkout. Today's episode is brought to you by Mood. Mood was created in 2002 as an online source for 100% federally legal cannabis grown on small, pesticide-free American farms.
So we're going to tell you about the online cannabis company that's revolutionizing how we deal with life's challenges, from sleepless nights to stress-filled days. Mood.com has created an entire line of not just gummies, but functional gummies that target specific health concerns with 100% federally legal THC blends. They'll deliver them discreetly right to your doorstep.
What makes these gummies different is how they've actually paired the THC and other cannabinoids with herbs and adaptogens. So you're really not going to find gummies like this in dispensary or truly anywhere for this matter. The one that is by far the most intriguing to me, which I think it'll be for Melissa, is the PMS one.
Most definitely. I have cramps. I have discomfort where my head is hurting. I also have, my mood is all over the place when I'm PMSing. So this is there to help for the difficult times in your difficult cycles. And I am so excited to try the PMS Support THC gummies. And you can get 20% off your first order at mood.com with promo code BLAME.
And they literally have gummies for truly everything. Immune support, menopause relief, PMS symptoms, mental clarity, schmexual arousal. And each one is crafted
Schmexual?
Yeah, schmexual.
What's schmexual? Why are you whispering? We're adults here.
We are adults here. If you're an adult, enjoy your weed and your sex. Best of all, not only does Mood stand behind everything with an industry-leading 100-day satisfaction guarantee, but as we mentioned, listeners get 20% off their first order with code BLAME.
So head to mood.com, browse their amazing selection of functional gummies, and find the perfect gummy for whatever you're dealing with. And remember to use code BLAME at checkout to save 20% on your first order.
Another switchback. Wait, this isn't the top. Where's the summit? Why am I doing this?
At REI Co-op, we believe there are places within ourselves.
Almost there. You got this.
That we find only outside.
Wow. This is worth it.
We have the gear, inspiration, and advice to help you get there. REI Co-op. Visit rei.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of See you next Tuesday. Ooh, I'm in the forest. Ooh, it's so spooky. Ah, the trees are moving. A dark shadow. Ooh. Oh my God, the breath control. Stunning.
If you need an inhaler, you should get an inhaler. This is my ad.
This the ad?
albuterol.
Breathe right. Get your inhaler. Puff, puff, pass.
And I could have kept going.
That's deeply impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. Incredible.
Yeah. Also, you know how I was like coughing for weeks?
Were you not using your inhaler? Even though I told you while we were on the podcast? Okay.
It wasn't that. I wasn't taking allergy medicine.
Oh, yeah, because you started feeling invincible once we got those fucking air purifiers.
Yeah, because I hadn't been taking allergy medicine.
Yeah.
When I started taking allergy medicine this week, I immediately stopped coughing. Because I was looking at, like, maybe I have acid reflux and I need to start taking medicine for that.
Yep.
But then I was like reading stuff like what you can take for if that's what you have. But then they said it also could just be allergies. And I said, you know what? Let me start taking this again.
Hey, you know what? I recently looked up the side effects of the beta blocker that I'm on because I'm like, you know, I need to get a new one.
Mm-hmm.
And I did see that you should not take it if you have chronic sinus problems because it will exacerbate them. And I was like, oh, for sure. The way that every pair of pants I have has like 17 tissues stuffed in there because I needed them at all times, especially the second I walk outside. Gotta blow my nose.
Yeah,
always.
You've been talking about that pretty much since you got it because you're like, it's just exponentially bad. And I'm like, I don't really notice it until I got sick and then I did. But I was like, I don't know. Okay.
I am hopped up
Mine
on
actually feel this. I actually feel better. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I do have a little. But that's because the air is on and I should have cut it off for my nighttime sleeping and I haven't. And I should get up, but I'm not. It's 66 degrees in here.
It's a little chilly. Just a wee bit frigid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everyone, we're going to read the results of last week's episode, which is episode 149 of But Am I Wrong?
I'm going to write in one day.
Okay.
Because I have one right now when I open
You don't want to do it for your own But Am I Wrong?
No.
Okay.
Because I don't want the person it's about to know that it's about. They would figure out it was about them.
Okay.
And I feel like they might listen. So I'll just write in anonymously.
Or use a voice changer.
Well, it's a write-in for the most part.
No, I meant for yours being like, so everyone, someone submitted this and I'm just going to do it for them. And it's just a voice changer.
Someone did ask me for an audiobook that I directed. They asked me to do their about the author because they like my voice. So.
Oh, that's so nice. You got a good voice.
Thank you. I wish it was a sex book because I could really get in there.
Okay.
You know how I am.
No, I do. They do. Unfortunately and fortunately.
Is the state of the U.S. making you want to escape?
Yes. And you can take the first step and learn the language before you go. Who makes it easy, Melissa?
BAIW makes it easy.
We are so happy that we have a new sponsor. It is BAIW, and not to fangirl too hard. We begged BAIW. We said, BAIW, BAIW, we need you.
Our audience wants you and needs you and asked us, hey, who do you guys recommend for languages?
And we're happy to say it's BAIW.
Not only do sometimes I want to escape, but I also want to stay here and talk to the people here on the ground, especially in our state of California. So I want to brush up and make my Spanish stronger. I took Spanish throughout school. I took Spanish and French, but I really, really need to strengthen my Spanish. What about you?
Spanish is the language that I grew up in California. So like that is like you said, like from the time that I could talk, like the names of different streets. It was so like ingrained, handcrafted by over 200 language experts. Yeah, they are voiced by real native speakers.
Real people.
Oh, and they're built with science-backed cognitive tools like spaced repetition and interactive features to fit any learning style. I'm a big fan of BAIW games. This girl loves a game.
We both love games.
And like the sentence building stuff. So having it be in like a game format makes me feel, it doesn't make me feel like I'm learning. It doesn't make me feel like I'm being scolded in school. I'm just like learning something new, but I'm mostly playing a game.
We want you to learn another language. So we're teaming up with BAIW to give you 55% off subscriptions. but only for our listeners at babbel.com/don'tblameme.
Get up to 55% off at babbel.com/don'tblameme, spelled BABBEL.com/don'tblameme.
Babbel.com/don'tblameme.
Rules and restrictions may apply.
HelloFresh is going to help me enjoy my summer more because I will spend less time looking for groceries, trying to figure out like what I'm going to eat. It's just delivered straight to me, and it makes things so much easier so I can be outside basking in the sun.
Spending less time in the kitchen, more time eating delicious things, and having a great time, which is all what summer's about. This summer, HelloFresh has made it even easier to enjoy delicious, healthy, and homemade quality meals with their new ready-made meals. These heat-and-go HelloFresh meals are chef-crafted, flavorful dishes, ready in, guess how many minutes? Oh, it's just 3. So you can dig in and go do summer right.
My mouth is already watering looking at the Southwest-inspired chicken bowl and the stir-fried udon with pulled pork and veggies. There's also a creamy Alfredo truffle pasta and an Indian-inspired chicken paired with turmeric rice. Drool. These are all ready to eat after a quick spin in the microwave.
We love HelloFresh. We have sung their praises for so long. I have to give a shout out, though. The Mushu pork lettuce wraps changed my life. Absolutely so good. I think it has to be one of my favorites I've ever had. Make your summer enjoyable and delicious by signing up for HelloFresh at hellofresh.com/blameme10fm and get 10 free meals with a free item for life.
That's hellofresh.com/blameme10fm for 10 free meals and a free item in every box.
HelloFresh.com/blameme10fm. 1 per box with an active subscription. Free meals are applied as a discount on the first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan.
It can be overwhelming to manage a business, especially when you're first starting out. Your to-do list just keeps growing every day with new tasks, and that list can easily begin to overrun your life. Finding the right tool not only helps you out, but can simplify problems you haven't even encountered yet. And for millions of businesses, that tool is Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world, and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. With hundreds of ready-to-use templates, Shopify can help you easily build a beautiful online store to match your brand style. And best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm. Shopify.com/realm.
All right, first up, Melissa says just because a company is for the people today doesn't mean they are for the people tomorrow. 1% said I was wrong, 99% said it was not wrong. Someone said, at this point, I want to raise my own farm, grow my own garden, and make all my own clothes because these companies keep disappointing us and I can't handle it. Yeah. If only we could do all those things, but unfortunately, monopolies do exist.
Yep.
And it's very hard to exist under a world that depends on capitalism.
And they do that on purpose.
Mm-hmm. Someone else said, people can change and so can companies since they are just made of people. Unfortunately, sometimes these changes make people or companies absolute shit. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I guess it's my turn. Mine was Meghan thinks everybody is entitled to privacy. 2% said I was wrong. 98% said I was not wrong. Someone said, this is actually disgusting and vile, and I hope these people rot in hell. I couldn't imagine the guilt of losing your child and then having the internet full of people tell you that it's your fault. Also, while dealing with postpartum is unimaginable. I wish so much peace for this mother and her family. Someone else said, leave the grieving family alone. Holy shit. It's absolutely despicable that some people think they deserve to know about the most traumatic incident of someone's life so much that they try to get access to death records of a child. These people need professional help. Some people's takes on this have been so freaking weird. To clarify, 100% agree with your opinion. Yeah, that's the reason why I was like, I have to talk about this, even though I feel like so much discourse has been had about this. I like don't love the discourse because like the discourse has like a lot of it has been, unless it's like coming from a creator and like a big TikTok creator. And I'm like, sure, people could say that like I'm saying it because like I also have like a public persona and that stuff. But I'm like, I don't think it, but like there are people who are like, no, once you put your life online, like you gotta answer those questions. Like I'm like, no, that's fucking crazy. Fucking crazy. Someone else said, this is such a heartbreaking story. Genuinely don't understand what goes through people's heads attacking people like that. It's like those tattle life trolls. So glad the Sands won their court case. No person, influencer or not, deserve to be talked about like that. So what I know about that is like, I think tattle life is either like Australian or British, like a specific website for like talking shit about content creators and stuff, like women, like bloggers and stuff.
Okay.
And I know that
like a lipstick alley type situation.
That was what I was trying to, the word I was looking for. Exactly like that. But I guess it's because it's either based in Australia or the UK, the pool of influencers is exponentially smaller. And so those people get way more like hate and like way more shit because like Lipstick Alley is US based. And so like there's just a lot more of like just a ton more people of that. And so like I saw someone talk about how like brands used to go on Tattle Life and like look through to see who they were talking poorly about and then like pull contracts or like not work with people because of like unsubstantiated like rumors in that way or whatever. And like it was just like really fucked. And there was not moderated in the way that like Reddit is. And even though Reddit is like, you know, shit's bad, like shit can get really bad on there. But like when it's like specific, like we talk about like Lipstick Alley is like where you go for the worst of the worst. And I guess this is like the worst of the worst of the worst.
Lipstick Alley is the gutter.
Exactly. And so there's no like checks and balances system or anything like that. And so I think and it was anonymous. So I think like the court case meant that like the person who was running it had to be like, their name came forward in that. And then I think it was also like finding out who was saying these things. But I'm not sure. I think that's pretty recent. Someone else said, not sure if you saw, but her friend also went offline for a while. I'm assuming to comfort her, and eventually started posting regular content again without addressing anything that happened. And people were upset that she wouldn't give the family updates. I also saw that there was like other people who she was like friends with who like didn't post for a week and then started posting again. And then people were like that she should have taken more time off. And I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, I mean, one of the things that was like not sealed, I guess, so far, and it's not like she lost the lawsuit or whatever to like the case, or she didn't lose the case to like seal the records, the death records, but something that was like released because, I don't know, was an interview with like the cop and her husband who was there. And he basically was like, and this is why I'm like, I think like, don't bully this man. He lost his son. But the fact that we're bullying and like blaming the death on the mother when like people are jumping through hoops to blame her after even this statement came out, which is like he was talking to the cops and they asked, she wasn't home, asked what had happened. And he said that he was with the newborn and he saw his son playing by the pool outside by himself and he left him out there for 5 minutes by himself. And then when he came, he didn't hear and then he was like, where is he? And then saw that he was drowned in the pool. So like, in that instance, that man is being eaten alive by the guilt of like, hey, I should have never let my kid hang out by the pool without the pool cover on. Even, you know what I mean? Like out by himself. Like there's no reason for that. But even with that information, people are still blaming her. Because they're like, well, they didn't have a pool fence because she didn't like how it looked. And like her husband always I'm like, you don't know any of this.
Right.
You just like, you have to make her the villain, not him. In reality, you could just be like, this is horrible. And these people are so much more upset about the situation and the death of their child than you are. Like point blank.
I saw this woman on TikTok who said that they're from the country that she's from. There's this saying that the bare minimum that a woman does is usually seen as the best that a man does. And, that reminds me of that, of how they're holding her to a different standard and she wasn't even there. Is he is
her
his
content?
face on? Yeah, does he make his own content, or
I don't
he's
think
just with her?
If he does, it's like it's like not full time.
Yeah, so they don't feel like they know him as well. So they know her, so they know what her intent was. Again, even though she was not there.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people end up like parroting like right-wing conservative viewpoints of this, because like a lot of bloggers are Mormon. Mormons have like a lot of standard of like beauty and like perfection. And in doing that, there's a lot of money you can make from that. And so then a lot of husbands quit their jobs to support their wives. But in the Mormon religion, men are supposed to be the head of the household. Men are supposed to support the family and do all of this kind of stuff. And so then you have these people who are also within that community hating on these women for making money and doing all of this kind of thing because it's against their religion in a way, even though how they got there is not against their religion. And so then they idolize these men of being like, these poor men are so emasculated by their women, like all of these kinds of things. And then it always becomes like these poor men. And like, I even saw this one person who she did like a whole like 30 something part series about like her divorce. Cause her and her husband were divorcing and she was making content about it. And they were doing like co-parenting and like living together and all of that. And then like the content drastically shifted. And she like basically talked about how he had a mental health crisis and like they don't really know where it came from. But he was a danger to himself and others. And she wasn't talking about it at the time. This happened like over a year ago. Mm-hmm. And she wasn't talking about it at the time, but he had used the fact that she had all these followers and people knew who he was because he had like a small account on the side. He would go live and then her fans who knew that they were divorced and they were like getting divorced, he would go on these manic live rants and shit and like say really like crazy, really scary, dangerous things and just like religious psychosis. There's just like all of like absolute unwell. And they would egg him on and like send him money and do all of this kind of stuff because they're women who like think that like she let a good one go. Like all of this kind of like you're so deeply jealous of her that you are enabling her husband and like him having very dangerous statements and thoughts about her and her family. Like that's like really fucking scary that there's like this level of jealousy that is like still so male centric amongst influencers. And that's why like people we always say this all the time. People are far more comfortable buying products, buying merch, subscribing to Patreon, all of that kind of stuff of men. Like it's women find it a lot easier to pay money for men. Not all women, but like a huge majority of them find it a lot easier to do that versus to women because women you feel closer to, you feel more alike to, and there's like a sense of like jealousy, but it's just really what it is being centered in the patriarchy and the male gaze. So yeah, that's it for this one.
Oh, yay.
Grandpa's here!
Hank's always helping out. Grandpa style. Now he's treating his prostate cancer with help from Xtandi and enzalutamide. Xtandi 40 milligram tablets treats men with prostate cancer that has spread to other parts of the body and responds to a medical or surgical treatment to lower testosterone. Xtandi may cause serious side effects: seizure, a brain condition called PRESS, allergic reactions, heart disease that can lead to death, falls and bone fractures, swallowing problems, or choking that can lead to death. Stop Xtandi and get medical help at once if your face, tongue, lip, or throat start swelling. Tell your doctor at once if you faint, have a seizure, quickly worsening headache, decreased alertness, confusion, vision problems, chest pain or discomfort, or shortness of breath. Xtandi can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during and 3 months after Xtandi. Common side effects include muscle and joint pain, feeling unusually tired, hot flashes, constipation, less appetite, diarrhea, high blood pressure, bleeding, falls, fractures, and headache. Talk to your doctor and visit Xtandi.com.
My favorite thing about Shipt since I signed up for Target Circle 360? No price markups when I order same-day delivery from tons of local stores. Only a handful of alcohol retailers and items don't count. I won't lie, I've had too much fun being like, markups on groceries? Not in my fridge. Markups on pet food? Not for my DOG. Markups on tools, electronics, home goods, meds? Not in my house. Anyway, it's awesome. Order now at shipt.com/360. Terms apply.
Choice Hotels get you more for your money so you can maximize any road trip. And as your vacation maximizationer, I'm going to make sure you hear the maximum sizzle of Comfort Inn's free hot breakfast. Let's get real close. Maximum apple. Now that's fresh crispimization. Maximum waffle. Hear that crunch. And that's maximum coffee. Oh yeah, that's the pour I'm talking about. Breakfast maximized before hitting the road. Check into more. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
And then we have writer number 1. Would they be wrong to report a doctor? 1% said the writer is wrong. 99% said the writer is not wrong. Someone said writer is not wrong. What the fuck? Report. I know we've had a hard time keeping church and state separate, but I don't think keeping church and medical diagnosis separate was an issue. Dan. And I want to put a pin in that as far as church and state because it's rooted in racism. And that would be my rant one day. Another person said, I pressed the wrong button. They should report this doctor. Honestly, that man shouldn't have a job. Yep. Another person in all caps said, report that fuck. Someone else said, writer's not wrong. Report that doctor. What the doctor did was so out of bounds, especially when he blocked the door and asked about your religion. Absolutely not.
Why would people make something crispy and then put like a wet sauce on top of it?
That's how I like my hot wings, but what are you talking about?
No, well, that's like a coating.
Okay, what are you talking about?
This is a crispy smashed potatoes with a lemon, garlic, and chive dressing. So you have these like gorgeous crispy potatoes, and then now they're just wet. You might
as well just make chips and dip.
Now they're wet. They're not crispy. They're just chewy.
You just make chip and dip then.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people just do things because of the way they looked and it probably tastes like shit. Anyway.
Or the words that like being like crispy, creamy, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. Just dip them in individually. Now you have soggy, crispy. No.
Potatoes.
It's so.
And then at that point, you might as well have just made a baked potato.
Uh-huh.
And so you did several steps actually. Cutting.
Or make fucking potato salad.
Yeah. Let's call it proteinifying it chicken salads now and calling it a high protein snack because it's got 40 grams of protein, but they're just making chicken salad and putting like Greek yogurt, which at that point tastes like
Greek yogurt or cottage cheese.
Yeah, it's Greek yogurt. And then everything you just put in chicken salad. But she made it with canned chicken, which just disgusts me. But, they're like quick and easy.
No.
Go get a rotisserie chicken.
I'd rather you boil a chicken. I'd rather you boil it than fucking can.
But if it's quick and easy, just buy a rotisserie chicken.
No, 100%. People are so wrong.
Yeah.
Ugh. Okay. Then we write number 2. Would they be wrong for ending a 10-year friendship? 2% said the writer is wrong and 98% said the writer is not wrong. Someone said, definitely meant to say the writer is not wrong. I've ended friendships just because people piss me off and I don't want to be around them anymore. It's not worth it to stick around places you're not appreciated. Big vibe. Someone else said, not wrong. It sounds like the writer is ready to move on and grow. Put yourself first, writer, and don't feel bad about it. Cut them off. You don't need this person in your life. I know it's hard. I did it in 2020 because of politics, but you will be happier. Hi, this was me. Thank you so much for the validation on this one. I felt so torn over this situation, like I should have tried harder to save our friendship, but I couldn't shake the fact that I was burnt out from it. I think I'll always have good memories with this person, but I just couldn't keep making excuses for her hurting me. Thank you for your thoughts.
And then we have my wrong of the week, Vance Bolter. 98% said he was wrong. 2% said he was not wrong. Not so fun fact, this man is from the town next to mine in Minnesota. He's the second cousin of one of my high school classmates' dad. That's a long list of people.
Wow.
Our local paper wrote a fucked up story about him talking to people about how nice he was, and they shared the link. And I then responded to this person and said, you're not the only person that has a close link to him. Someone actually has a shorter one than you do.
Wow.
Another person said he's a terrorist. Yep.
Mm-hmm. It's just so crazy how we love using that word sometimes, but not so much other times.
Mm-hmm. And that's it.
It always reminds me of that, the one that they're fine calling a domestic terrorist, that guy who they said was the American traitor to Al Qaeda or the Taliban or something. And then once I did some one of my friends growing up was he babysat us one time. And I was like, what? Yeah. I was like,
you have never, Megan, this is the second day in a row that you've dropped.
It's a brand new lore.
Lore.
Yeah, wait, I have to find this. Marin County, Taliban. I really need to start looking on incognito mode. Yeah, John Walker Lind. We were like, I must have been like, I think he probably did like at like a party or something. He was like one of the older kids who like babysat, like did that. Mm-hmm. But I think the person who even remembered was like one of my friends who like we grew up together. Her like older sister was like, yeah, we were both like, what? Like, huh? And she was only like, what, 2-3 years older than us. But like, we just like, like no one ever thought to tell us that story as well. And she was like, wait, I thought you guys knew. And I was like, no.
Left out of that story.
Yeah. Yeah. He's from, so he moved to San Antonio, California when he was 10 years old. So that's town right next to mine. Crazy.
Cool.
Are you looking for a movie review show where the critic is at the top of his or her game, meticulously breaking down and explaining exactly why a film does or does not work? Well, good luck with the search, because we're having fun here on Adam Does Movies. Each and every week, I hit the big blockbusters, I cover the streamers, and I even toss in some movie news for fun. Check out the show on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, and hopefully, we can do movies together. Hot.
Hey, it's Hillary Frank from The Longest Shortest Time, an award-winning podcast about parenthood and reproductive health. We talk about things like sex ed, birth control, pregnancy, bodily autonomy, and, of course, kids of all ages. But you don't have to be a parent to listen. If you like surprising, funny, poignant stories about human relationships and, periods, The Longest Shortest Time is for you. Find us in any podcast app or at longestshortesttime.com.
How does weather work? What's the secret to having a great conversation? How do most wealthy people get that way? These are just a few of the topics we've recently covered on my podcast, Something You Should Know. Each episode covers multiple topics that are likely relevant to you. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and listen, we've got over 1,000 episodes, over 4,000 mostly 5-star reviews. I invite you to check out Something You Should Know, wherever you listen.
Then we have my Wrong of the Week nomination, the Boca Aquarium. 96% said the aquarium is wrong. 4% said the aquarium is not wrong. 4%. Someone said, I just want to know why an aquarium was the choice for this. Like, there's not another way to cheat the system that doesn't have a bunch of people disappointed. I know this is unethical, but if you're going to cheat smartly. I also agree with that because, like, I think the advertising of it, I'm like, do you have to have a certain, like, number of people coming there? Like, do you need, like, a foot count, like a traffic count of those people? Because, like I said, like, I just think without a doubt, this hinders their jewelry sales. And, like, they're advertising it seemingly the aquarium far more than the jewelry. So, like, it seems very, for lack of a better term, fishy. Like, there's got to be something else to it. Someone else said, and I thought it was bad when aquatic pet supply stores advertises aquariums. This is embarrassing and sad. I worry for their mental health, and I am scared. The way they could have tried to spin this into a funny, haha, misunderstanding, but they decided to go the complete opposite, double down, and probably get the IRS to look into them for tax fraud. Yep.
Well, half the IRS got fired, so.
Their TikTok now is a lot of MAGA stuff, and it feels like they're doing a lot of rage bait after getting seconds of screen time.
And there it is. They know that they're not going to get looked at. And they're in Florida.
They're in Boca.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone else said, I was cackling during the Do We Know Them pod episode about this too. They're wrong. And it also is way more entertaining than it should be. Yeah. I haven't seen any of the stuff they're posting now. I'm so confused by this. I can't even pay attention. Oh my God. They literally
don't do it. Your brain. We don't need
I can't understand them. I'm real confused. Okay, that's it for that one.
Well, that's the end of the show.
Oh yeah, wonderful. We hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to vote in the next episode. Episode 150 is the one we're voting for next.
Oh.
I know. I mentioned that last time and you didn't seem to care as much as you do now.
No, you said it was coming up. You didn't say it was like the next one.
I did say that directly after I said 148.
I understand that, but coming up could be.
No, Melissa, when I say 148, we're almost at 150.
You didn't say it was the next one.
Well, 142. When I did
listen,
it last.
Listen.
Here's honestly, why am I getting on you about numbers? You know I can't do numbers.
It wasn't. I don't remember you saying what the first number was. I just remember you saying it's coming up.
You don't remember that the catalyst was me reading the number 148?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair.
And to be honest, my mind blanks out a lot recently.
Hey, you are in good fucking company.
And that probably comes from me sleeping 2 to 3 hours a night.
Yeah, that's not
good. But then I make it up on the weekend.
Good. As you should. You know? You're making your money and you're getting the ziggies a little bit later.
Yeah. On Saturday, when I got home from the brunch at it started at 9:30. So I was home by 12. I went to sleep, didn't wake up till 9 p.m.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a full night's sleep.
Yeah. So
hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Investing into the future.
Well, we hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to vote for the next one. 150.
Yay. I wish I would have remembered. And then when we record, wait, we're recording it right now.
We haven't recorded it.
I'm used to recording See You Next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So we're about to record it. So I thought we weren't going to have time to to celebrate it.
No.
We will have time to celebrate it here in just a few minutes.
Yes, quite literally as soon as we end this, we'll pick it up.
Yeah, I'm going to go make some of my mushroom coffee.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah. Well, we hope you enjoyed. And stay tuned for the rest of the episodes this week. And don't forget to subscribe because maybe you're not subscribed. Maybe it's not getting popped up into your phone, loading every day and being like, hey, brand new epi.
Yep.
And you can watch
It's not the pin.
It's not the pin?
Mm-hmm. What'd you say? Brand new? Brand new? What'd you say?
I don't know.
Brand new. What would come with after brand new?
Listen, I don't know. I blanked out. I don't know what we're talking
Epi.
about.
And then I said, not the pen.
Not the pen. Got it. That makes perfect sense. I mean, you can
even if it wasn't epi, it could have been episode should have been the next thought. But we're not firing.
We're not.
On all.
I have 0 cylinders.
Yeah.
I've got maybe an octagon, and it is still in silent. And you can also watch the video version on Spotify for this episode if you want to see my very cute little shirt that I just got.
Cute. I like it.
Thank you. I'm wearing color.
I have on this sweater, which if you see the full version, when I used to actually wear it out, I would wear it more tucked in.
Oh yeah, I know this sweater.
But when I don't wear it out, I wear it untucked. And I sent Megan a picture one time and was like, hey, I look like somebody a teacher from your hometown.
No, the way I didn't even know it was the same sweater. Because the tucking makes a world of a difference.
And today, even worse, I have on
wide leg pants.
Plaid pajama pants.
Oh yeah. This is an art teacher on her day off, baby. She is sick of those kids. And she's making that mushroom coffee during the break.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But hers probably has shrooms.
Yeah, and some alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's got red glasses and she's a little quirky and you're always a little afraid. Yeah. Okay, bye.
All right. Nope.
Oh.
We will see you next Tuesday.
Bye. This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Are you looking for a movie review show where the critic is at the top of his or her game, meticulously breaking down and explaining exactly why a film does or does not work? Well, good luck with the search, because we're having fun here on Adam Does Movies. I talk to you like we just got done seeing a movie together, giving you the pros and cons, and I'm digging in the trenches, in the mud and muck, on streaming services, telling you which films are worth your time. Each and every week, I hit the big blockbusters, I cover the streamers, and I even toss in some movie news for fun. Because this show is Adam Does Movies. I'm obviously Adam. I probably should have led with that. But perhaps I have led you to check out the show on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube. And hopefully, we can do movies together. Hot.
Hey, it's Hillary Frank from The Longest Shortest Time, an award-winning podcast about parenthood and reproductive health. There is so much going on right now in the world of reproductive health, and we're covering it all. Birth control, pregnancy, gender, bodily autonomy, menopause, consent, sperm, so many stories about sperm, and of course the joys and absurdities of raising kids of all ages. If you're new to the show, check out an episode called The Staircase. It's a personal story of mine about trying to get my kids' school to teach sex ed. Spoiler, I get it to happen, but not at all in the way that I wanted. We also talk to plenty of non-parents, so you don't have to be a parent to listen. If you like surprising, funny, poignant stories about human relationships and, periods, The Longest Shortest Time is for you. Find us in any podcast app or at longestshortesttime.com.
Congratulations. You've reached the Amelia Project. A new life awaits. If you're not serious about this, hang up. If you continue, there's no way back. Leave your message after the beep.
Enter the offices of the Amelia Project and be ready for surprises, twists and turns. Follow the Amelia team as they help their clients fake their deaths and come back with new identities. Each episode is different. Each client coming to the death-faking agency has a unique story to tell. If death and disappearances, comedy and crime, mystery and magic sounds like your cup of cocoa, The Amelia Project is the podcast for you. Search for The Amelia Project wherever you find your podcasts. And remember, leave your message after the beep.